The last question on the worksheet asks about the distribution of students who have not completed remediation in mathematics compared based on ethnicity, and it asks for those results in percents. So I'm going to navigate over to my spreadsheet. Column E is actually the column that lists ethnicity, and there are three choices here: Hispanic, Caucasian, and other. And it's asking about pass rates on the or it's actually asking about whether students passed the remediation in math, which is column I. So if I made the column wider, we would see that, but it is column I. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to basically enter some labels here so I know what I'm working with. So my ethnicities are white, Caucasian. I'm just going to abbreviate here. And they either passed or did not pass. And then Hispanic, and then other. And then in order to actually get the information, there's a couple ways that you can do it, but I'm going to do this with filters. So what I'm going to do is come up here under data, and under data there's an option here called filter. So the default is that when you're working in Excel, it shows all of your data at once. A filter allows you to ask Excel to just display certain portions of the data. So I'm going to click on filter. And what it does is it shows me all of these little triangles at the top of every column where I have the column labels. So the first one that I'm going to do is under ethnicity. I'm going to click that little triangle, and the default is that it shows all ethnicities, so the select all is selected. So I'm going to turn that off, and I'm just going to click on white and then click OK. And what you see there at the very bottom of the screen is it shows you how many records met that criteria. So it actually shows you that there are 21 white students in this particular database or in the particular file. So that's important information to know. Now what I want to do is I want to find out how many of those white students actually completed the math remediation. So if I go up to letter I right now, that's the completed math remediation. I'm just going to start by saying how many did not complete it. So it's taking it out of the 21 white students, and this shows me that 3 of those 21 did not complete remediation in math. If I click instead on, again, the little triangle, and I click on yes, it should show me that 18 did complete it, which is what in fact it does actually show. So if I come back to my actual spreadsheet document, and I can turn my filters off just by clicking the little filter button up here, and I can go back to where I typed in my labels. So of the white students, there were 18 yes and 3 no. So I don't really have a good way for Excel to put those values in for me. There is a little bit that I might have to type in myself. And then if I want to go back and do the same thing for the other ethnicities, what I can do is I can go back up to data and go to my filter again. And this time, let me try one more time up here. I'm going to go to ethnicity, and I'm just going to look at Hispanic. And when I turn that on, I can see at the bottom that there were 56 Hispanic students in the file. And of those 56, I'm going to look at the no's. There were 19 that did not complete remediation in math, which means If I come back up here, turn off my filters, and then go back to my actual spreadsheet, I have 19 no's, and that would leave me with 37 who did complete remediation, and then one more. If I turn my filters on yet again and go back to sorry. My other group, it shows me that there are 23 that are in the other category. And now if I go over to completed the math remediation, I'll do not complete actually, and there were 5 no's. So of the 23, I'm going to turn my filters off and come back over to where I've recorded the data. There were 5 no, which means there were 18 yes. So in order to calculate the percent, what I do, or what I have here, is I've got different totals among the white students in terms of number of total participants. So among the white students, what I'm going to do is I'm going to type in another formula. So I'm going to have Excel begin with an equal sign, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell it to take the value in cell P17, so it's the cell that contains the total, and I do that in case the value changes. And then I want to divide that by the total of all of the white students, which is the value in, and I'm going to add the dollar signs again, P dollar sign, or dollar sign P dollar sign 17 plus the value in dollar sign P dollar sign 18. And then I hit return, and so that tells me of the white students, 85% of them were successful. And if I drag that down just to the other white student cell, that's about 14%. So the value here is a slightly different formula because there are a different number of Hispanic students. So I have equals, I take my value in P19 and I divide it by the value in dollar sign P dollar sign 19 plus dollar sign P dollar sign 20, and then I fill that down, and then one more time. This time it's P21 divided by dollar sign P dollar sign 21 plus dollar sign P dollar sign 22, and then fill that one down. So when I compare the percents, which I can do by selecting, and then I can go back up to the very top of my spreadsheet under Home and click on the percent symbol to change everything. And that displays the percents as whole numbers, so it shows me that white students were most successful, followed by other students, and Hispanic students were least successful on the test. So if I am going to copy and paste the distribution, I would get all of this information to go back into my Word document. And then the formula bar, you basically have to pick and choose one of these because the formula is just slightly different for each row. So you can select one of the percents, come up here to your formula bar and copy, and then go into your Word document and paste from there. And that's it.